What's good? I'm Rec, and I guess this will be the first video on already canceled. I'll just give you some insight. I do 3D printing, so this probably be like the best way I can. Well, my setup for now. But when I talk to y'all, so you might be able to see some printing. Sometimes it may be a little bit noisy, but we'll figure it out. Sometimes I want to be talking right here. It could be somewhere else, but for right now, we're here, and I don't know if this was just something to speak about at the given time to even start this channel off. Also, at the same time, it's just like it's kind of going crazy on how many rappers is passing away, and don't really know much about Young Dolph's story at the given moment of what happened and how it happened and how everything played out. But it's starting to get real tiring and real old of a story to constantly hear rappers or artists getting killed, because there's a difference between a rapper and an artist. But no matter the level of where they made it to, it's kind of getting really, really corny. That, and this is even crazy to say, you ain't really seeing this in other genres of music. Like, there's not shootouts in country, there's not shootouts or fights in R&B that I've seen, really. So for me, I'm just kind of confused on why do we consistently gotta deal with this. And then I seen a response online from Kwame Brown, and he said the right thing. Like, y'all can't complain about the police killing nobody when you ain't really doing anything about what's been happening inside your own cities. Well, not your own cities, but the cities that you live in for years, generations, just constantly. People, like, you've seen people at funerals where they had stop the violence rallies, parades in your city, and then the next day somebody's dead. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't know much about Young Dolph or his story. I've heard his music and there's some songs that I like, but I don't know much about his story or his situation. The most I can say though is that this is annoying. Like, it's annoying. It doesn't add up, because it's like every time that you turn around, it's another rapper dead. Either it's a drug overdose, pretty much most time getting shot. So you got being shot is probably like at the top of the list, and then overdose is right behind it. Going to jail is number 3. So it's like you kind of want to get the third option, because then you ain't worried about, you know what I mean, the first two. I mean, for this to be my first video on Already Canceled, I kind of feel at a loss of words. So I need to actually do a couple more videos just to follow this up. But I want to do that pretty fast. The thing is, though, I want to say this is like, we need to start paying attention to each other more and communicating better. People will come out and say that brothers need to talk more, need to come together more. They do. But the thing is, they're not. The best thing that you could do is start with inside your home, talking to your peoples, your brothers, your cousins, your children. That's the fastest way I think we can go about this, or the best way we can go about this, is just focusing on the people who directly to you and building them relationships with them. I'm not saying that building outside relationships wouldn't help, but you got to be very mindful about who you building with outside of your own family structure. And you also got to be worried about who you building with inside that structure too, but at least start there. To try to just pass this type of energy where we value each other more, where we have better understanding of each other, where at least we're willing to try with each other. Because right now, it ain't happening like that. It's like you got a lot of people screaming and shouting about what's happening with the police and what's happening with the government and stuff, but they not screaming and shouting about what's happening right up the street from their house. You know what I mean? They not screaming and shouting about the fact that the kid that they used to babysit just shot their cousin, and they grew up in the same neighborhood and went to the same high school and graduated in the same class. You're more worried about the cop who shot somebody or killed somebody 10 states away than you are worried about that kid that you used to babysit that grew up to kill somebody that he used to be best friends with in daycare. So what I'm saying is this: as an adult, or when you reach a certain age, just being mindful to do what the old heads used to do when I was a young boy. I said that like I was from Philly, but tell them where you were wrong. Because I had old heads that kind of told me when they were wrong, where they was wrong. They didn't glorify everything. Now, they'll glorify some things, but they'll also tell you the other side of that too. So what I would say is, do your best to have an understanding of that, and so maybe these situations could slow down a lot. Because I can see cops killing people has slowed down, but brown skin killing brown skin has not slowed down. I don't know, man. Listen, the other side of this too is, you know how you play, you know what's gonna happen. I don't know what type of lifestyle he was planning, or whether he was like heavily into the streets. You know what I mean? They talk about different beefs and things like that from videos I watched. But I mean, when you play the street life, streets don't really care whether or not you're a millionaire or not. Realistically, if you're a millionaire in the streets want you even more. So you kind of got to know what type of game you playing. Sometimes people do, sometimes people don't. Sometimes people jump in because they see somebody else doing well. Just like any other thing in this world. You see somebody doing well in this lane and you think you can do it, you're going to jump right the fuck in. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be as successful as them. So what I say is this, yo. If you feel as though you want to jump in the street, just know that there's only a couple ways out. Jail, and that don't even mean that you're out, because you still be getting it in jail. Death, which is the probably solid way out, like to know that everything stops, you're not in the streets no more. That's the most solid way, death. The other solid way is changing your life. Now, if you change your life, there's a different outcome for that. You can have a different result now. You can actually control what you do. Because see, in the streets, you can't really truly control what goes on because things spontaneous. That's why people get shot a lot of times in the most awkward situations. Like, they was just going here, they was just going there, they was just doing this. That shit is spontaneous. The streets is spontaneous. So you got to be mindful about how you moving in the streets. So yeah, respect, condolences. This is about the best I can say. What I will say is the people out here that are alive, like I said, man, be mindful of the energy you passing on with people. And be mindful if you're playing in them streets. You know what comes with that. So don't be asking for sympathy when, you know what I mean, one of the outcomes that you don't really want, you get. Don't be asking for sympathy. That's one thing that I understood. It's like, if you decided to be in the streets, there is no sympathy. You don't get no sympathy. Why? Why would you get sympathy? You in the streets. You chose this. You said you could handle it, right? So handle it. Listen, man. For whatever I say, I might get canceled. I don't care. You feel me? At the end of the day, we all pick our lanes. Sometimes people just talk about those lanes. And right now, I'm talking about these lanes, which, if young Dolph was living that lifestyle, which he's a celebrity, he don't really probably have to live that lifestyle, but you also don't know what vices he has. And what I mean by vices is, like, you gotta be around the neighborhood sometimes. You gotta kick it. And when you come home, when you get to go home, you want to go home. You probably want to go to your most local spots that you've known, so you can see the people that work there, see the owner because you know them. But again, the streets are spontaneous. Yeah. So yeah, um, hopefully they show a lot of good content of him. Um, hopefully he ain't leaving a negative legacy behind. They said something about him buying a lot of houses, and I don't know if he was helping with the neighborhood, but I know he said he wanted to leave his son a house. So hopefully he accomplished a lot of things that he wished he could do or tried and pushed to do. You know what I mean? That's a big thing. So hopefully he got to do that. I don't know what else to say. This is my first video on already canceled. This video probably sucks, but like I said, I'll be back with more pretty quick. Maybe better production, stuff like that. But yeah, follow me on Instagram at Reckless Life. It'll be in the description. There, if any questions, I'll answer here. I have another YouTube page, but we ain't gonna worry about that right now. Be careful about how you play this game, though. Gets real.